la bling. La 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 la. Fire it up, baby. Welcome to the program. Welcome everybody. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program. How are you today? Welcome everybody. Today is April 10 in the year 2023. Do you know where your children are? Are they off in India being kissed on the tongue by the great Dalai Lama? The Dalai Lama says, "Suck my tongue." The Dalai Lama, 87 years old, wants to be Gene Simmons, and he says to the children, "Suck my tongue." Is he a pedo? Is the Dalai Lama now part of the pedo target? Well, we're gonna find out. New York City as well. Welcome everybody. How you doing? Marcus Conte reporting. Oh wow! It's cold out. It's cold out today. 37 degrees. It looks like the final frost here in the northeast of the United States, northeast part of Pennsylvania. Looks like it's starting to break a little bit. It's definitely sunny, but still in the 30s. We still have 30 degrees, and it looks like that might be the last of it. So we're on our way. We're on spring. Spring has sprung. Take off your heavy stuff. Take off your heavy stuff. Is somebody saying sound? Suck my sound. The mic. Oh, Charlotte says the mic sounds good. Sounds nice. Sometimes I don't know if my mic is on. I never know if I'm live or what. But so anyway, some interesting subjects off in New York. The I guess what we call the far left is trying to frame Donald J. Trump, the leader of the Republican Party, the front runner in the 2024 presidential election for president, a former president of the United States. The left are trying very, very hard to convince America that Donald J. Trump is a criminal, and under the tutelage of a man named Alvin Bragg, a radical left, blackist person, DA in New York, is also under fire. If you haven't heard, the House Judiciary Committee, right, very, very important committee in Congress, is now going after Alvin Bragg, looking at the victims of Alvin Bragg's menacing presence over the last 2 years, and probably and most notably going after, saying specifically, "I'm going after Trump. I'm going to go after Trump. Vote for me, donate to me, and I will go after Donald Trump no matter what." That's Alvin Bragg. So, having said all that, there is now polls that show that the effectiveness, we gotta gauge the effectiveness of the campaign against Donald Trump by the left. Is it working? Are most Americans, when asked, should Donald Trump be thrown in jail? Well, there's a new survey that says a lot of them do. There's actually been a bump up in numbers of people who think that Donald Trump is a criminal and should be placed in prison. And then there's the other tried and true that obviously believe that he is not guilty. And I don't know, logic suggests upon further investigation that Trump is neither innocent nor guilty. And you can decide. I mean, there is going to be an election, and you will have a, quote, choice in that. What else? New York City, there's still, while Alvin Bragg is going after Donald Trump, people are walking into what were supposed to be legal marijuana establishments. Marijuana was made legal in the great state of New York about a year ago. And it turns out that they can't figure it out, especially in New York City. They say, I've heard reports of upstate New York, anywhere other than the city, has handled their marijuana dilemma quite effectively. People can now grow up to 6 plants, 12 plants, whatever it is, 6 per person. And dispensaries are popping up. And there's a legal distribution and or industry surrounding marijuana in upstate New York. But downstate, the theory was that they were going to give the permits to sell marijuana to all of the people in the past who had been convicted wrongly or by law for possessing and or using marijuana. And they were going to move to the front of the line to get a license to sell it. Now, do people that used to smoke marijuana 20 years ago and got arrested for it, do they really want to come back into the fold and sell marijuana? No. Why don't you just give it to the stores that already know what the fuck they're doing? A tobacco smoke shop that sells smoking products is probably your best bet to sell legal marijuana, or the bodegas. But it's not happening. It's not happening in New York City. They can't figure it out. There's still people getting shot in smoke shops, shot in the head. I'm going to show you a video of a guy getting shot in the head while he's in the smoke shop. It's still lawless. It's still dangerous. You're supposed to make something legal to take the violence and the danger and the unnecessary jacking up of the price of everything out of it. That's why you make it legal. Not so that there's more thugs putting it in the hands of thugs that shoot each other and act like gangs and criminals. No, the object, you jackasses in New York, Alvin Bragg being, chief proponent of it, stop it. So we'll look at those fascinating stories. Good morning, stories. Good morning, everybody. Vinny Martini in the house. Well, good morning, Weevil Girl. Weevil Girl is here. William Smith. Weevil Girl points out that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr. He's the brother, the slain brother of the slain president, John F. Kennedy. He was shot dead. Robert Kennedy was shot dead in 1967 while he was campaigning for president in California. And he has many children, one of which is now running for the presidency of the United States of America. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., have you heard? Running for president. He gave a nice speech. He's anti-establishment. But the Democrats are never going to go with a guy like that. My fundamental issue with him, and it might be a superficial one, but he has a bit of a speech problem. He has a bit of a speech impediment. You could say, well, Conti, so do you. You got no front teeth, motherfucker. No, it's different. It's different. He has a speech impediment right up there with way past what John Fetterman, the senator, has. Is America going to go with that? Do they want a stuttering... Establishment doesn't care. If he's on the right side of the trade, establishment will go with him. But will most people resonate with a stuttering son of a dead president? He's not that convincing, in my view. We'll talk more about him as it goes on. I don't think he's going to get much ground. The Democrats, he's, first of all, the key word is anti-establishment. He is anti-establishment. He's not. Why would the liberal left go with an anti-establishment candidate when they are now the establishment? That's not necessarily how it works. They go with more radical, more radical establishment. So I don't think he can. First of all, I don't think he can win over the people and get enough attention to blow out Joe Biden. They're not going to have a primary. My prediction with the Democrats is that there will be no primary. No Democratic primary this year. I am sorry. I know. Marianne Williamson, she wants to be president, and Camilla and Bernie and and Elizabeth Warren before she dies. They all want to be. I heard maybe Nancy Pelosi. Imagine Nancy Pelosi. My prediction is that the Democrats will not they will not have a primary. They're going to run Joe Biden all the way to the end. And my prediction is that Joe Biden will bow out at the last minute. Right? They're going to pull him at the last minute. And then say, oh, see, but and then he's going to endorse the pick, which will be a corporate pick. It could be, it could be anybody. Just keep your eyes open. Who's out in front of the argument, and who in those back doors, in those back, parlors, the cigar smoking back parlors of the wealthy New York, figuratively. Who are they going to pick? Who's the money going to pick for the Democrats? They'll pick Biden, and then if Biden bows out, they'll pick whoever is supported by the vast majority of the Democratic. It's not the Democratic establishment. It's not a fair process at all. The Democrats have told you that the Democrat Party politics is not democratic in the sense that the people pick. It's the money picks. This is already established, not only theory, but law. So I don't think Robert Kennedy can win, but I certainly think that, again, Trump is the favorite. Trump is the favorite. You have to ask yourself, who are you going to put on the stage to face off against a very, very volatile, all-out, guns drawn Donald Trump? That's the picture. Who could defend themselves from this attack? So that's what we're going to find out. Anyway, so there he is. There's the Dalai Lama. Oh, I gotta, that's my thumbnail today. Dalai Lama. I don't know. We got a video. The Dalai Lama he's just an old man that doesn't know what's going on in the world, and 87 years old. A kid comes up, wants to hug him, and he gives him a kiss on the lips, and then he says, "Here, boy, you want to suck my tongue?" And what do we have here? We have a detached old man who, there's nothing sexual about any of it. To him, it's just funny. Or is it, is the world, the leftist world of sexual brokenness, their sexuality, they don't know if they're male or female, and they're now going to say that the Dalai Lama is a pedophile? Right? The Dalai Lama asks a 9-year-old boy to suck his tongue jokingly in public. And you have doctors and a medical profession all over the world that mutilates children, their genitalia, if they ask them to, or if they can be persuaded to. We'll cut off your testicles and your dick and install a vagina, no problem. You have doctors that will place a child in an operating room and chop off his junk, right? And fondle it and cut it and then place it in a jar. You talk about that's not abuse. Come on, man. I'm going to go with the Dalai Lama who jokingly said, "Kiss my tongue." He's Gene Simmons. Kiss my tongue. So watch that video. It's not that disturbing, really, in my view. My name is Marcus Conte. I'm a guy who makes videos every day, educational, philosophical type videos about these fascinating subjects of our time that push the barriers of who we are as human beings. And if you like that kind of discussion, every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., we discuss Dharma. We have a live Dharma gathering. AKA the nature of reality, if you're into that sort of thing, right? Right up there with the Dalai Lama. It's kind of what the Dharma, Dalai Lama, right? I guess, we're right in there with the Dalai Lama. So I got a website, and we're if you're watching on other platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, welcome to the program. If you want to join us every morning at 9 a.m. live, come over here to YouTube with all these fine people off to my screen, on the side of the screen over there. Real people, not bots, not phonies. These are real people in America, really interested in what is going on in our world, right up there with me, trying to figure it all out. We try to figure it out together every morning at 9 a.m. So let's talk about this already. No, warning, graphic content, graphic photo. So New York has legal weed, they say. And up there in Harlem, some of the legal proprietors of smokable things like tobacco, they own stores. They sell pipes. They sell tobacco. They sell beer. And they're open all the time. And a lot of them are selling weed, as they say, illegally. But how are they selling something illegally if it's legal? If you're selling something that's is being called illegal, then it is what? It's not legal. Right? It's legal when you stop prosecuting people for selling it or creating pockets of violence like this right here. Watch this. Guy walks into a smoke shop. Who knows what he's buying? He gets into an altercation with some gang jerk off next to him, and they have a little argument, and the gang jerk off pulls out a gun and shoots him in the head. Watch. Can't make it up. So there they are. They're at the counter, right? All the pipes. And keep your eye on the guy with the red hood. See the guy in the red hood in the middle? Watch what happens to him. All right. This could be because you cut me in the line, man. Yo, you looked at my bitch. You look, boom. Oh my God. You know what's interesting about the video too? Watch the guy who gets shot right in the middle of the camera. Watch the it's a real bullet, obviously, but the bullet goes through his head and breaks the window behind him. Watch the window behind the guy fall in when he gets shot. Right? So he gets boom, and you see the glass fall. So the guy falls, the glass falls, and this guy climbs over the fucking, and he gives him another shot, motherfucker. All right, so that's what's going on. This is legal weed in New York City. Congratulations, New York City. Having figured it out, trying to take the violence out of it, and then finding a way to put the violence right back in. Put the violence right back. Yeah, I want to go to the smoke shop. Yeah, I want to go and buy some weed from these people and get shot in the fucking head by some gang jerk off. Here he goes. Watch. Boom. Shot him right in the head. Window falls. This guy, everybody ran. This guy's jumping over the counter. Get rid of the mother. Get away from this motherfucker. It's crazy, man. He's shooting people. That's crazy. It was a little gun, too. Let's see what kind of gun he had. It looks like a little. It doesn't look quite like a 9mm, but it's probably a smaller caliber gun. But he shot him right in the head. And then he gave him another shot in the back. So the guy died, and, so where's Alvin Bragg? Where's Alvin Bragg when all this shit's going on? It's crazy. So half of Americans believe Trump deserves to be indicted in Stormy Daniels' hush money case. So ABC, you go out there, the campaign is rather simple. The gaslighting campaign is rather simple. You smear Trump as being a criminal. You indict him, get an indictment, first you find a loose cannon in New York, a.k.a. Alvin Bragg, a guy who's trying to make a name for himself, a social climber, a legal climber. I'll do it. I'll do whatever I have to do. As long as the establishment backs me, then it's legal. And you find a guy like Alvin Bragg. He goes after Trump, and he trumps up all of these mundane misdemeanor charges of how checks were signed during an election. It's not a guy getting shot in the head at a smoke shop. It's It's back end nonsense that nobody really cares about. Let the votership care about it. But nonetheless, the campaign begins. Smear Trump, and now you got to look and say, well, how did the sleepy masses perceive it? And it seems that the sleepy masses have confirmed that half of those sleepy Americans believe Trump deserved to be indicted. Let's listen to this. Who do we got here? Rance. Rance, is that his name? I forgot his fucking name. Rance Penis. Rance Penis from the RNC and Trey Gowdy. Let's listen.
Particular matter, I think people have realized that many folks in law enforcement are extremely political. Trump has seen a 10 to 12% jump in his polling. And clearly, when you look at the case of Donald Trump and this Manhattan DA, you've got a party that in some ways it can be very divided, whether it be people who are pro-Trump and people who are never Trumpers. But in this particular case, you've got a party that's completely unified around the idea that what this Manhattan DA has done is wrong. And there are very few, even Democrats, that have put together a coherent case as to what the Manhattan DA is doing as being right. And so
that's not really true, Rance. It turns out that we have a survey by ABC. Of course, it's rigged. The way the questions are asked, it's not like, does the weight of what Trump is being accused of really matter? It's big business, billionaire nonsense, manipulation of elections that occur constantly and continuously in America. Everybody's trying to manipulate the information to bring the attention to them, vilify the other guy, and make us look like the hero. That's the nature of elections. That's what they do. And I don't know, for Trump to have, let's look at the results according to the New York Post. I have the results right here. So ironically, Trump only has a 25% approval rating, favorable impression, and Joe Biden has a 34% favorable. Trump 61% unfavorable, Biden 48% unfavorable. Those are the numbers that you look. What they try to do is they try to jack up Trump's unfavorable numbers. And it does seem to be working, sadly. New survey released Sunday shows that when compared to a poll last week, the percentage of people who believe the charges against Trump are, quote, very serious, jumped 6 points, while the number that says they were, quote, not serious at all increased 4 points. So that's ridiculous. There's only a 2% difference there. If 6% say it's very serious and 4% increase says it's not serious, that kind of cancels itself out. Meanwhile, half of those just surveyed say former President Trump deserves to be indicted, while 33% said he should not have been charged at all. But still 47%, the numbers are all over the place and kind of hard to make sense of. 47% of Americans also believe that the charges against Trump are politically motivated. Imagine that shit. 47% of Americans believe that the charges against Trump are politically motivated. Criminal charges are politically motivated. That's not supposed to be, you're not supposed to say criminal charges and political motivation in the same sentence. Those two things are supposed to be separate. There is criminality in the world, and then there's political campaigns down the block. Not the same. But nonetheless, 47% of Americans believe the charges were politically motivated, yet half of America thinks that he should have been charged. If you know something is politically motivated, how could you agree that it's legitimate? It's never legitimate if it's politically charged. Do you see? When it's politically charged, it is nefarious. It is interfering in something because it's not fair. These types of charges would not have been alleged alleged against Trump if not for a political motivation, that he is the front runner of the Republican Party. The survey, they surveyed 566 adults. That's not too shabby. That's a lot. But again, it's ABC conducting it, asking the questions. Do you think that the charges against Trump in this case are very serious, 30, up from 24%? Do you think Donald Trump should or should not have been charged? 50% say should not. Look, here's the staggering point of this is that 47% of Americans believe that Trump was charged politically leading into a campaign. Based on that assumption alone, the case itself should dissolve. You don't continue when close to half the country thinks that it was political. So you can't make it up. What else we got? Oh, yeah, here's Trump's answer. Fuck you. This is Trump's Easter message to everybody. Donald J. Trump has delivered an Easter message. Happy Easter to all, including those that dream endlessly of destroying our country because they are incapable of dreaming about anything else. Those that are so incompetent, they don't realize that having a border and powerful wall is a good thing, and having voter ID, all paper ballots, and same-day voting will quickly end massive voter fraud. Donald Trump campaigning on all paper ballots. Wow. Hey, how about that, progressives? How about that, progressives? Everybody who worship Bernie Sanders and people like Tulsi Gabbard, oh, yeah, we should have paper ballots. We should count them out in public. Well, now you could get behind Donald Trump because he's saying the same thing, right? Donald Trump wants paper ballots, according to his statement on Easter. Having voter ID, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having a piece of plastic in your card that says you're an American, you can time to vote. Or just add it to the driver license. Well, a lot of people don't drive, but the general ID, everybody has an ID in their pocket. In some way, integrate that into voting. So that when you get to the voting booth, what's the big deal? You show up, you vote, you show your ID at the door, they check you, they swipe your card, and they let you in, you go vote. What is the big fucking problem with that? All right? What is the big problem with voter ID? There is none, other than it becomes accountable. I say paper ballots and a receipt. That's right. You can have my ID, but I get a printed receipt of who I voted for. So when I walk out the door, and that in itself would decrease shenanigans. So you got Trump saying it. He wants same-day voting. Gone. Massive voter fraud. To all of those weak and pathetic rhinos, radical left Democrats, socialists, Marxists, and communists who are killing our nation, remember, we will be back. We will be back. Trump taking on the electioneers, the process, the Marxism and the socialism and the communism that's everywhere in our country, says Trump. So Trump pulling all the punches, socialist, Marxist, communist. But he is saying paper ballots. We want that. Don't we want that? We want paper ballots. So one more point on Trump, and then we'll talk about the Dalai Lama kissing a 9-year-old, or sucking on his, or asking the boy to suck his tongue. Come here, suck my tongue. House Judiciary Committee Right. One of the Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe, is the head of the House Judiciary Committee, leading the charge to expose this fat loser from New York, Alvin Bragg, this nobody a year and a half ago who ran on the platform of going after Trump. Well, it looks like he's got a little investigation of his own. House Judiciary Committee to hold New York City hearings with victims of Alvin Bragg. Victims of Alvin Bragg. Let's find out. House Judiciary Committee will hear from victims of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's policy during a hearing in New York next month, escalating a confrontation with the progressive prosecutor over an unprecedented criminal case against former President Trump. The field hearing will be at 9 a.m. on Monday, April 17. That's next week at the FBI building in Lower Manhattan. A source told the Post the hearing will examine the rampant crime and victims of Alvin Bragg. Well, there's clearly rampant crime, but he hasn't, I mean, he probably has a handful of victims in the less than 2 years that he's been in office. But why don't you go after his campaign financing? That's where you really want to go, House Judiciary Committee. Who financed Alvin Bragg? What billionaire cut checks to go after Alvin Bragg on a platform of going after Trump? That's all you need to do. You see how the money influences it? When everybody says they want to get Trump. They, I don't know. They want to get Trump. Look at them. They're coming after Trump. They. Who's they? They is the money. Clearly, Alvin Bragg, a political hack, was funded to go after Trump. So who funded Alvin Bragg? That's the whole thing. The problem is when you find out who funded Alvin Bragg, you might find that the guy who funded Alvin Bragg also funded some other Republican or some other Democrat somewhere else. They don't do it in isolation. No, they're billionaires. They spread their money around, and then they cultivate it. They cultivate their influence by giving a lot of money to a guy like Alvin Bragg. Go after Trump. That's a winner for us. We got to weaken Trump. The numbers are too high, man. Too many Americans like him. So let's get a criminal. Yeah, he's a criminal. And they get Alvin Bragg. But who's the money? Rather than going after his broken track record of violence and death in New York and people getting pushed in front of trains, go after the money and get rid of the guy. Get rid of the guy, scare the money back a little bit. The committee chairman is Jim Jordan, none other than Jim Jordan, who's going to lead the charge against Alvin Bragg to do what I just told you to do. Right? Said he was going to do. He's going to go after the. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. But anyway, there's Trump waving to the crowd. Hello, Trump. I think Trump should invite Trump as a publicity stunt. Trump should invite his friend from KISS, Gene Simmons, right? Have a conference, have a rally, Trump, with Gene Simmons, and invite Dalai Lama on there too, right? And then see who has a longer tongue, Gene Simmons or Dalai Lama, right? And then you can have some fun with that. Trump is a felon, motherfucker. He should be in jail. And here's the fat piece of work that's going after him. It's almost singular. I mean, it's Alvin Bragg. There's nobody else in Democratic politics that are really going after Trump. They're going after Trump behind Alvin Bragg's indictment. So find out who funded this guy, and you've got your answer. Right? You might not like what you find out. You might find out that corporations that fund your favorite politician also gave money to Alvin Bragg. It might be some of your favorite people in the world. People like, I don't know, fucking Bill Gates, for example, or Hillary Clinton Foundation, or, the Obama money. Who knows? Who knows? Follow the money, man. That's how you find out about it and stop it. Stop looking at the politics of the moment and find out who's clearly elevating a kind of sort of fictional timely case against Trump to get him off their heels already. Oh, damn. So here's the Dalai Lama. If you don't know who Dalai Lama is, the Dalai Lama is arguably the head of Tibetan Buddhism. There's a lot of lamas that were in Tibet 50 years ago. The Dalai Lama wasn't necessarily the only lama. There's lamas all over the place. Chongyam Trungpa was also a lama who ran over the mountains of Tibet, escaped into India. Yeah, India, and then I think he escaped somehow he got to England. I think he went to India first and then got to England. But these are all lamas, escaped lamas. Their wisdom is often crazy and misunderstood. Again, I studied with Chongyam Trungpa's lineage, the Shambhala lineage. It's directly from Tibet. And a lot of it is Tibetan culture. It's not necessarily Buddhism. But anyway, that's who the Dalai Lama is. He's the center of Tibetan Buddhism as it lives on outside of Tibet, mostly in India. So here's the clip. If you don't like to see young boys and meeting religious leaders, don't look.
Who's here?
So there you go. The boy comes to the stage and says, "May I give you a kiss?" And the Dalai Lama's 87 says, "Yeah, sure, of course."
Then I think finally here also.
Kiss my lip. So he kisses. That's indisputed. He kisses a young boy on the lips. Dalai Lama has apologized following outcry over him kissing a young Indian boy on the lips and asking him to suck his tongue. Now let's watch so that's the lip incident. I wish they wouldn't blur the fucking videos so that you could see what's going on. They say his hand came behind the young boy's head and pulled him in. Let's listen. So there's the kiss. I'd like to see this guy's camera. There's the hand. And then he butts heads. Is anybody seeing anything sexual here? Is this sexuality? Let's continue. They're having a good time.
And suck my tongue. Thank you.
Compassion. Right? He's a compassionate old man. Does anybody? Did
Why
anybody?
Free Tax USA as an author?
No. Did anybody see sexuality there? Does anybody see sexuality? I don't know. Hold on a second. I got all the ads popping up. So one equals pedo. 2 equals 1 equal. Oh, wait a second. 1 equals pedo, and 2 equals compassionate old man. So you pick. I don't know. There's the video. There it is. Pulling the young boy in. Kiss my lips. Laughing. The boy pulls away. Now a headbutt, a moment, and then he asks him to suck his tongue. I want to see the tongue thing. There's the tongue. Does the boy? It's so ridiculous, right? So everybody, everybody's one. One, he's a pedo. Miso hungry pedo. Weasty's a pedo. William R. Hall, 1 pedo. Weevil Girl, 1 pedo. I don't know. I think we differ there. I think he's Look, he's an 87-year-old man. I really, really, really fail to see that his impulse is sexual to this young boy. All right. What if it was a father doing that? What if a father kissed a boy on the lips? Now, is Dalai Lama the father? Well, yes, he is. He's right up there with Jesus to many people. He's a religious. He's like the Pope. I said Pope. The Pope. So what if he was your father? What if he was a father kissing his son and jokingly saying, "Suck my tongue"? Is that still bad? He didn't say suck my schlong. He says suck my tongue. Spiritual Leaders Office released a comment Monday apologizing. They got the Dalai Lama on his heels. Statement says, quote, he wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused, and or his tongue. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in the public and before cameras, the statement read. Also saying he regrets the interaction. It's not very far away from Biden grabbing kids' hands, Andrew Cuomo allegedly pulling women in close. What else? What else can we find out? His real name is Tenzin Gyatso. Tenzin Gyatso, leader of Tibetan Buddhism, arguably living in exile in a temple in India. 87 years old. Okay, come. And he invites him on stage. We saw the interaction. So I don't know. I gotta say, it's just a senile old man. I'm gonna vote too. I put that shit on the record. Last month, the official Twitter account for the Central Tibetan Administration shared a clip of the Tibetan Central Tibetan Administration released the video. Doesn't seem like they're disgraced by it. So it is it's a tough situation because, again, if he was the father of the child, which a lama can be considered to be like a holy man, just like a priest to some degree, but not a high priest. Right? It's not behind. This was not done behind scenes. This was not done in a way that was secretive. This is the highest man in the tradition, jokingly, engaging a young person. Maybe this is the way we're supposed to engage young people. Maybe we're not supposed to be cutting off their testicles and telling them that they're neither sex, that there's many, many sexes, or because there's a lot of money in it, selling drugs to them in elementary school and junior high school and high school, or maybe carting them off to war. How many children has Dalai Lama sent to war to die? How many? I don't know of any. How many people have leaders of Western cultures sent to war to die? Millions. Right? Where does he hurt kids? He probably has monasteries and all over the world with these kids are probably well fed, well liked, well trained in meditation. Maybe we should be looking at the Dalai Lama as stop sexualizing everything. Stop sexualizing everything. A kiss on the lips is not necessarily sexual. Right? Playfully saying "kiss my tongue" is not necessarily sexual. It is if it's Gene Simmons. He's telling you, "Suck my tongue," with his long ass tongue. So it's up to you, man. I'll leave it there. Those are the markets. Ding, ding. We're open. We are open, and we are down. Looks like technology. Looks like we're heading into a earnings new earnings cycle. And rhetoric on Wall Street seems to say that the technology sector is going to be slightly down. And ironically, the banking sector is going to be slightly up. So we'll see how this pans out. It looks like the charts are still strong upward. I don't think it's hard to say if we've topped out yet. It could go sideways for a while before it takes another run up or down. This is the NASDAQ that we're looking at. Let's look at the big board. What do we got? Apple's down 4. Oh, my God, down 4 points today, 160. Amazon down 2. Google down 2. Meta, formerly Facebook, down a whopping 4. Microsoft down 6. Rivian, only down 8 cents. Tesla down $7 a share. I would call this a sale. Does anybody say sale? Everything's on sale. The shit is on sale. Come and get it. It's cheap. What else? What else is going on? Pfizer. The holy vaccine stocks, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna. Those are the people that sell you injections for your health. All down today. And the war stocks, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, slightly up this morning. Not slightly. Lockheed Martin is up 5 or a whole percentage point. So markets are down right now, digesting, maybe a new election cycle, wages, profitability, unemployment. Unemployment seems to be going up right now. Wall Street likes that. They want to see unemployment tick up so that's an indication that companies are doing more with less people, and therefore the profit margins are greater. So while you may want to see unemployment go down, Wall Street is rooting and betting and instigating it to go up. They want more unemployment. And then when they see a tick up in unemployment, then the interest rates on banks, the overnight interest rate will either go sideways, stay where it is, or start to at least not tick up anymore. I don't think the interest rates are going to come down anytime soon, but they certainly, at some point, they'll stop ticking up. So anyway, man, so there you go, man. So thank you all for joining me, Mark Sconti reporting. Really, thank you. I do thank you for being here. We don't always agree. Everybody, we all have different opinions. That's the fascinating part of humanity, is that we all have different opinions. And we don't necessarily have to get to the point of losing our fucking minds when we disagree with somebody. I could disagree with you. We could have a difference of opinion, and we don't have to shoot each other in a smoke shop. We don't necessarily even have to kiss each other's tongues or go after somebody legally and try to get them arrested because we disagree with their opinions. We can just breathe, relax, and enjoy. You can breathe, relax, and enjoy. See you guys tomorrow. Marcus Conte reporting.